Hello everybody, my name is Nathan. Welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kalterkrieg as the good old Danubian Federation. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So, we're currently in a little bit, we're currently in a presidential election between mostly about the CSP, whether or not he's going to be part of the Federalists or part of the Hardliners. I have no idea if there's a way for me to actually see that information at all about who's actually going to become the next president, but we do know there currently is an election going on in Bohemia. Right now, it's pretty tied between the Social Democrats and the current coalition, the Liberals and the Conservatives. And I think things seem to be going okay, at least for right now. Hide this for a moment, and let us just continue. So we're currently remembering the bear, because we do not really trust Russia right now. Conflict with the Cold Group after the CSP rally. As the rally played its closing song and the CSP men left the stage, a group of Czech youth from the Skolo gymnastic movement were waiting outside. The crowd within contained a few members of the Sudeten-German Turnerbund, a rival gymnastic organization. Unfortunately, it came to blows and the police jailed several men on both sides. Not what we really wanted, and not what we want the CSP to be associated with. Could be a little bit of stability lost there. And the matters of Europe. Europe is in ruins. The Third International ruined the Ruhr, scorched Italy, and destroyed Britain. What they didn't damage, the burdens of war and battle swept aside. All of the nations in Europe, Danubia was one of the vanishingly small number which did not suffer from some kind of significant war damages during the Second Weltkrieg. Furthermore, it is one of the few that still maintains almost its entire industrial base intact. Minister Leopold Ficky has come forward with an ambitious plan to both ensure that war does not happen again, and that Middle Europa and perhaps even beyond will be rejuvenated. The dedication of the energies of the Danubian industry to rebuilding Europe in order to strengthen the continent into the future. It gets interference from both the Anglo-French alliance and the Russian Spectre. Okay, so the Hungarian minority bloc will gain strength at 20 political power. Yes, let us rebuild the continent. I think that Austria and the Danubian Federation as a whole has a strong role to play in the future of Europe. Because, you know, we're the strongest economy, or we're like the second strongest behind Germany. I think right now we're basically tied, but of course Germany is a lot more unified, I guess you can say, than we are right now. The matters of federalization. The old saw goes, foreign policy is domestic policy. Nowhere is that more true than in Danubia. As a relatively new, yet simultaneously old nation, there's a constant threat to self-evaluation, as well as reference to the agreements that were drawn up when Danubia was formed. The Balaton principles, despite being signed over a decade ago now, are still a topic of discussion. Some believe that they went too far and dissolved the glue that bound this nation together. Some believe that they are good enough for the moment, something that didn't go far enough, and a more radical approach is needed. Ultimately, the stance of the candidates may decide the election. Strong executive, uphold the principles, or they didn't go far enough. You know what, let's give the minorities a little bit more representation in the Federation. We'll strengthen the Hungarian bloc ever so much. Again, I have no idea if there's a way for us to see this at all. An emergency caucus. To the alarm of the Federalist wing and their allies in the SDAPD, Engelbert Dollfisch appears to be making waves in the election, to the point that if he is not opposed by unity candidates, then he will win the election and with it become leader of all of Danubia. His policy direction and matter of doing business threaten to upend the fragile balance that thus far has held the nation together. The question is whether we should take our own extraordinary measures to stop him. Okay, so this is for the hardliner factions. Negative 30 political power. To stop Engelbert Dollfisch and his hardline faction taking power, the rest of the Balaton bloc will rally around DC de Gasperi as a compromise candidate. Okay, so now it's going to choose who's elected here. And I don't know actually which way we want to go. You know what? I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the hardliners, honestly. I think they might be a little bit, because Federalists are a little bit more status quo, because they have the alliance with the Social Democrats. You know what? Let the democratic process proceed. We will have the hardliners take power, and I'm just kind of curious to see how that will change things here. And Engelbert Dollfisch elected the Christian bloc leader. Engelbert Dollfisch, the humble origins in Hallenbrunn, has ascended to the highest government office of the Danubian Federation. He is considered somewhat authoritarian in his techniques and tactics. He is also rumored associations with the German government, influencing the CSP OKGFP to vote for him. Regardless, he's made his way to the top. The question is now what he will do with power and what he'll do with it. Okay, so we're going to lose our political power guy. Instead, we're going to get half the political power gain and a construction speed penalty, which is very cool. Excellent, excellent. Good luck, Dollfisch. the next minister president. So that unlocked a new tree for us. Yeah, I mean, it's a little one. But that's okay. Push out the socialist. Undermine the Grand Coalition. So we're basically going to completely destroy... also, we're going to be lining ourselves with Berlin. I know earlier, I think, like, last 2 episodes, they said we'd go the other way, but... does not seem like that's going to be the case anymore. We're gonna line more Germany, and I think that's fine. I think that's okay. Again, because we haven't really played Austria. Going for new routes, I think, seems okay. We can remember the bear that'll be finished in a few days, and then afterwards, what do we want to do? 2 civilian factories could be quite nice. We can mobilize the Landsbund, more political power, more support for our ideology, limited conscription, or civilian alternatives. Kind of think we don't really worry about that too much. You're the 1951 election, which is still going to be quite a ways away. Can I actually go independent? Not pursuing diplomat. Okay. We don't need to worry about that right now then. If we work with Berlin, divided foreign policy and Europeanist foreign policy, which gives us more war support and 0.25 political power gain, which actually is quite good. That's a lot of political power gain for sure. Undermine the coalition, assess the Balaton principles. There's a slight chance. I don't know if this is true, but I've got a feeling that there's a very, very slight chance that this might cause the Danubian Federation to fall into a massive civil war. So when I said like 2 episodes ago that we'd go for a more Yugoslavian approach, we might still be doing that, just, you know, in a different sense of the word. Okay, so we have a handful more divisions. Just assign them throughout all the armies. I don't really care where they are. You just go to wherever you're needed to be, okay? As long as none of you are paratroopers. I guess the paratroopers we should probably put into a different division. I don't know if we'll ever actually use them. They can just hang on to Vienna then for now. And that should be okay. So yeah, I'm hoping people are enjoying the Kalterkrieg so far. I know it's probably not as popular as, you know, the Germany campaign, but I mean, anytime you play any Hoi 4 mod and you're playing Germany, people are always a fan of that one. I don't know why people are always... I mean, Germany makes sense. You know, they are in the middle of Europe. Dockyard output. You know what? Sure, we'll go for some dockyard output. 10%. It's not bad. And having some powerful navy, I think, would be beneficial. Okay, another paratrooper division. So I guess all paratroopers, I can just have you assign immediately into Red Army, because there's nowhere else really for you to go. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, do we really need that large of an army? Probably not. Outdated equipment. That is the improved anti... Okay, we'll go for better anti-tanks here. Fantastic. So the election is... Okay, we're actually going to probably lose the election. I think the Social Democrats might end up winning. But the nature of coalition politics is hard to predict the outcome solely on popularities alone. Well, let's bolster up the progressives here, because they're the ones most likely to... Yeah, we also take a little bit away from the SDAPD. But I mean, it's probably not a lot. There's a good chance the Social Democrats end up taking Bohemia. So they're probably not going to be super supportive of the federal government, would be my guess. Keeping Savinkov down. You know what? That actually goes really well with what... with remembering the bears. So you know what? Yeah, we'll do this. Let's try to sow some internal divisions within Russia. If we can get them to collapse, if we can get Russia to fall in the Civil War, I feel like that would be good for our foreign policy achievements, for our goals there. Okay, yeah, 0.1. Like I said, yeah, it's a 0.25 swing, which I mean is nice. We're currently getting 1.71, which is really, really good, especially again when you're doing a when you're already doing a focus. Okay, Algiers Conference, fantastic. And Skeletsky protests lost rights in Cluj. While they're allowed to their political representation, and they have their own organizations, and even speak their own language, in Transylvania, since it's one of the federal languages, the Skeletsky Hungarians today marched in Transylvanian capital of Cluj to protest against what they see as an exclusionary action to the PNR Romanian majority government. It is sometimes said that equality feels like oppression when you've had the privileges, and it certainly seems to be the case here. There are no specific problems they raise that are not also faced by Transylvania as a whole within Danubia. They're just felt an extra burden at having to suffer them at the same level as their former tenant farmers. Okay, so the Hungarians are mad because they're being treated equally, and they don't want to be treated equally. Which is, you know, shut the fuck up. The Grand Alliance wins Bohemia. Excellent. Bohemia remains with the coalition government as the CPD wins the national diet with 29% of the vote in combination with the other parties. Okay. I mean, it was pretty close. They had 45%. I mean, I guess we did waste 50 political power on this. I probably should have actually looked at the timer, but you know what? That's okay. I mean, I guess the extra support is probably not going to do too much. I know we don't have any focus or no template for the amphibious tank right yet, but you know, we might be able to train one. I don't know when we will actually use it, but you know, just in case. Early RAM, excellent. We love computers here. Fuel gain per oil is always going to be quite nice, especially since, again, as Austria, we don't really have like a great supply of oil. You know, we're not getting oil from Romania. We're definitely not getting it from Russia. I mean, I guess we can import it from the Middle East, but it's not like we have close relations with anybody down there either. Okay, the PSC is lining themselves with the Entente. A little rude, I would say, but that's okay. Formation of NATO for 20 points. Now, I don't believe there's any... Ever since last time we played as Canada, I don't believe there's been any major changes. Because, you know, we're still on, like, the 1.0 update or whatever it is. Like, the initial updates here. So there's nothing, like, too crazy that's changed. Improve relations with Rome. I mean, it would be nice to try to maybe align ourselves to Italy at least a little bit. I don't know if Italy can align with us. I don't know if they can, like, leave the Entente, but... It would be nice to at least try it. A little bit of Detente could be good for us. Undermine the Grand Coalition. You know, yeah, let's improve relations with Rome first. And keeping Russia down. The ceasefire in Ukraine might mean the end of our tanks rolling over the steppe, but the borders there are not the ones that we wish to stay like that forever. We can keep the Russians destabilized and hurting through a few key choices, as well as supporting the partisans on the other side of the Dnieper. Savinkov is an irrational and dangerous foe, one who must not be allowed to a moment's grace to regain his equilibrium. The Russians are warlike people, with a scorned pride and burning need for revanche at their lost lands. But that revanche also diverts them from the fact that they surrendered those lands, and diverts them from turning the bounty on their homeland into prosperity. By supporting the Ukrainians on the wrong side of the border, we are also diverting their attention further. And after that, if we do not keep their attention diverted, we may just end up being the sole focus of it. Okay, so what can we do in... keeping them down? We don't have enough political power to do anything about this, so we have to wait till we're at 50. This action represents an escalation of our support of the Ukrainian insurgency. Okay, Germany wants to buy some motorized equipment. Not going to say no. Again, I don't know if Russia can go to war with us. I'm pretty sure they can. I don't know what the tipping point would be. So if we can keep Russia down, that would be in our interest. But at the same time, an invasion of Russia also would not, I think, be the worst thing in the world. You know, if we need to invade, we could invade. Okay, research available. What, pray tell, would we enjoy? Research slots, electronics, coordination. You're a year ahead of time. Support rocket artilleries go up a little bit. You know, let's at least, yeah, we'll get better radar stations. I don't know how many we have, but I'm not going to say no to them. Extra factory, excellent. And let's distribute propaganda leaflets over the line of control. Now, I'm guessing potentially the more we try to push this issue with Russia, the more likely it is that we are able to, the more likely Russia might actually invade. But we'll have to kind of wait and see on that one. Where's our spies? Can I access trade with you yet? No, you still hate me. And the other one... was it with Canada? Who else were we diplomatically pressuring? I honestly don't even remember. Yes, Canada. They also do not like us. Which, I mean, is a little rude. I guess we can improve relations. How much does that cost? 0.4. 0.4 is so expensive. Because different ideologies. What are we right now? We are authoritarian democratic. Which is not great. Because you're market liberal, you're social liberal. Not fantastic. Illyria has, since the last election, held a coalition between the Democratic Union and the Federalist Bloc. A fractious coalition, both parties seek to push out their partners, while also excluding the socialists from government. They have an uphill struggle, however, as both organizations have limited appeal in an increasingly broad electorate. Without our direct involvement, there is no chance that they'll stop socialists from sweeping the power in the Crown lands. And if we do not get involved, it may be as part of a Sisyphean struggle to keep their electoral prospect alive. Well, I mean, we'll try it. We don't have a ton of political power right now. 200! Holy, okay. One sec, I gotta, like, move some stuff on my desk. I mean... I guess we just set the stage 200 and press this button. If we don't do this, then we just immediately lose. So my gut feeling is that that's not going to happen. Because right now in Illyria is the conservatives. I mean, they like us. I'm happy that they like us, but I can't see us. I mean, 200 political powers to keep Illyria in check, huh? 63 days. We gain 1.7. So I don't think that's even actually possible. And this is going to happen in 10 days. Yeah, no. Within 10 days, this is going to happen? Absolutely not. Demobilization protests turn into riots. Many former servicemen on leave, and university students gathered today in Vienna, Budapest, Brno, Prague, Bratislava, Zagreb, and Lemberg to protest the lack of progress made by the government on the issue of demobilization. The mass marches turned into violent protests as regional police forces engaged demonstrators with baton charges. Gets event demolition. Okay, so, oh dear. Political power gain goes by my 10%. More support for the Republicans and the National Populist. Like, right now, can we really demobilize? Allow civilian alternatives. Retain limited conscription. So I guess this is what people do not want. I mean, I guess right now we're on extensive, so... Going down the limited probably is fine. But we're also at a negative 25% power penalty. Manpower penalty. But I think we'll still be okay. Propaganda leaflets into the Ukraine. 5 running propaganda leaflets packed into artillery shells has allowed us to incite some rebellion in the Russians out of the border. This is the beginning of our operation to move past the ceasefire of 1947 and undermine the madman Savinkov. Ukrainians must be reminded that they can be a free people, and there are those willing to help them on their path to become free, out from under the Russian yoke. I've got a bad feeling about this, and that we might be escalating things. So again, the war only ended like a year ago. You know, it is not like, you know, even like the Korean War where it's been 5 years. It's been like a year at most. Okay, campaign in Illyria of roaring success. The SDAP have really pulled out all the stops, managing to mobilize voters across Illyria from all social and economic classes, as well as crossing ethnic boundaries. They've also made strong attacks on the current government's handling of the unemployment situation in the region and promised to bring investment into the region from other parts of Danubia. The coalition government has seen its economic credentials seriously hurt, and the socialists look like they are going to be unstoppable. Well, I don't know if there's anything we can even do about this anymore. Like, we don't have any options to try to push back on this. And the Prezhov report on Romani. Okay, there's actually like 2 different events here. The mayoral office in Prezhov region recently issued a report on the epidemic of smallpox that has broken out in the Romani village near the city. The village was to be founded by the Romani Voivodi during the period of Kaiser Joseph II and has been standing since the 18th century. The outbreak was resolved through the use of cordon sanitaire, with an increased attention to the borough came with some shocking results. Health standards are low, and diseases like hepatitis, head lice, diarrhea, scabies, and meningitis are common. Unemployment in the borough reaches almost 100%. It appears that living standards have not increased since the village's founding, if not backslid. While the relationship with the Romani community has been one that is fraught with tension, we should perhaps at least ensure that the Roma who have not settled and seek Danubian citizenship, rather than antisocial vagrants who do not want the basics of life. And restoration of relations with the King of Italy. Historically, our involvement in Italy has led to tensions and bad blood. Our own Italian minority interests in South Tyrol are still sometimes more trouble than we might wish to admit. However, through patient application of hard work and the ability of magnanimous in victory, as well as our commitment to the cause of liberating Italy from the syndicalist menace, we managed to make a breakthrough. Today, a formal memorandum of cooperation and fraternity between the governments of the Danubian Federation and the Kingdom of Italy was signed by the respective foreign ministers. Great news. Well, what can we do regarding Italy? So this is nuclear programs. Invest in Italy. Ask for support from our Italian minorities. 100 points here. Army experience, training. Okay, so it's command power, army, navy. These are all absolutely garbage. Excuse me. So let's smuggle... Okay, first let's smuggle weapons into Ukraine. And you know what? We'll also open up training camps in Galicia as well. If we can just crush the Russian state, I will be very, very happy. Also, I don't know, my microphone is like way too loud this episode. If it has been, I completely apologize. Sometimes my cat steps on my microphone thing that changes the volume, and I apologize. So what do we want to do next? Great question. Well, I think... Oh, I did not mean to click this. Because we cannot do you until Italy's had their elections. Open up Arms Commission. Let's undermine the Grand Coalition. I think the Socialists have been in power for too long. We should not be friends with them. But I will say that at least for right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not doing it, thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.